Hello, welcome to the channel. This is Dr. Obsidia. Epic Games is having the summer sale right now, so there's a few games that are out that I would like to highlight, but you might want to check out some of the other stuff that they have as well. They've got some new and some old things that are available. The other thing to mention is that Epic Games is running on a different type of distribution than Steam. So these games that you buy, if you're not aware, will not work with your Steam account. But that's okay, because Epic Games is coming out with a lot of free things, free games. They had Civilization 6 and GTA 5. So they've got a lot of free games that are coming out. Make sure you check it every week, and you can get at least 1 or 2 free games to add to your library. And if you don't have Epic Games right now, if you don't have their launcher or their distribution app, might be something to check out, be interested in. A lot of people are very loyal to Steam, and there's nothing wrong with that. But some of the great deals here, there's no reason not to jump on them when you can. You may not like Epic Games for many reasons, or you may really love them for the way they support their developers and give them a bigger cut. But whatever the case, I'm one of those people that's good with anything. I don't mind as long as I save some money, and I don't mind supporting the different platforms such as Epic Games. So let's take a look at a few of the things that they've got going on here.
We were their best agents.
Division drone activated.
The first wave. When things turned ugly, they abandoned us. I had to do something. I had to take control. Damn it! I know you will help me. You will lend me your skills, and in return, I will get you the answers you seek and deserve.
Move! Go! Go! Go!
The Division betrayed you, Theo, just like when they had your father killed.
The system.
Division 2 is an action RPG with a third-person style of content. You may have checked out Division 1. If you haven't, it's running around $10, about 60-some% off. Same with Division 2, 67% off. So it's a good time to check it out if you're interested. You can see the story here. It says Washington, D.C. is on the brink of collapse, and you're dealing with the lawlessness of the society there, trying to, in a post-apocalyptic style world that was based on the pandemic, you're trying to help restore law and order and prevent the city from totally falling into chaos. You run around and you do this with other players as well, so it is a multiplayer game. And you run around and you take on enemies and missions, and you can get equipment and equip your soldier. And it is a pretty good game. I played Division 1 a lot, and I've heard great things about Division 2. I haven't jumped on it yet. It's something that I'm thinking about getting. But it looks great. The graphics look good, and the gameplay in Part 1 was good. So it might be something you'd be interested in. It does have already some different editions that you would probably want to check out if you're interested in that. Their expansions and so on are coming out as well. You can see down below, it's got really good reviews, just like Division 1 did. And if you haven't played Division 1, it may be something that you'd want to check out as well. Now, Ghostbusters video game came out around 10 years ago, and now they've got the remastered version as well. One of the nice things about this game is, of course, the fact that it does have the original cast voice acting, which definitely makes it something. If you like Ghostbusters, the original one from back in the 1980s, this may be something that you'd just want to pick up for nostalgic reasons. It's 65% off, which runs probably around $8 or $9 where you're at. US dollars is what I'm going with. My money here is a little different, but 65% off. It was released late last year, as you can see there, and though the ratings are a little bit lower, it is something that, like I said, you may want to pick up for nostalgic reasons. Not that expensive, and I did have a little fun with it when I was playing it. Just to see the story and hear the voice acting was quite fun. The gameplay is kind of okay, but overall I really enjoyed it, and I recommend it if you like Ghostbusters. Maybe something at least to look into. The next game on my list here is one that I really enjoyed, The Wolf Among Us, the Telltale Games series. Telltale Games, they had a lot of trouble, and last I heard they were bankrupt. But for about $4 or 75% off here, you can pick up a really good, it's kind of like a interactive video novel. And this story, I really enjoyed it. I don't want to give away too much, but in general, you're running through the story. You are, here it says, as Big B Wolf, the big bad wolf. You're going around trying to uncover a murder, and people are blaming you and saying that you go into a rage and that you're part of the problem and you were probably the one that did it. So you go around, you investigate clues. It's a kind of point and click, and the story comes forth in a comic book style of way. So if you haven't checked out any of the Telltale stuff, this is one that probably deserved a sequel and never got it. But I really liked this. I played it through, and I was hoping for eventually to get a sequel. And it's not hard, it's not any real challenge, but the story makes it worth it. So if you're into good stories and just kind of sit back and enjoy about 5 to 7 hours of content, this is a pretty good deal for you to pick up. I think that there's a lot of Telltale games that are worth picking up. I really enjoyed the Game of Thrones version that did the little side story. You might want to check that one out too. There's also Walking Dead. If you haven't checked out Walking Dead in Telltale, start with the very first season and follow the young girl all the way in through her life, and check out, I think there's like 5 different games of that one. So, and of course there's some spin-offs as well. Check those out. Check this one out. You might like Telltale. I don't think there's going to be many more of these coming out since Telltale is basically done, but the old versions are still great to get in on if you haven't checked it out yet.
Ai Carlo Javosilo caltromesto, Vomardre caltromesto, Ai Zanvo Cando Scalcomesu, Majuselandro Jalme Caveltroduzal.
Been so long, those long hard days. They don't say God's changed my ways, changed my ways. Those evil ways. So I set out across that way to strike them down, to make them pay, and change their ways, their evil ways.
There's an old Korean saying, you can't put a price on honor. Well, maybe the offer was just too low.
I can't hide. My evil way.
Rebel Galaxy is one of those kind of action style games. If you can think something like maybe kind of like Homeworld, but if you would zoom in on a single ship and control that. So if you've been into strategy games, this might be something a little bit different. Or kind of like a Star Trek style where you control one ship and you're running around the galaxy trying to deal with missions, with pirates, with negotiations, trades, exploration. And the soundtrack is great too. I really enjoyed this game when I played it. You can see here it's 85% off, about $3, and I think you're going to get a lot more than 3 hours of content out of it. I still go by about $1 an hour is a good deal, and I mean I spend $3-4 on a cup of coffee when I go out to drink with my friends or something like that, and I consider that a good time for an hour. So if you're going to sit down at your computer and play a game and you think about $1 an hour, you're definitely going to get more than that out of this. Single player space sim, released about 5 years ago. And as you saw, the soundtrack, if you like that kind of music, it was great. It reminds me a little bit of Cowboy Bebop in that way. Very, very much arcadey in the way that you kind of attack and fight. It's very fast moving. But in that same token, it makes things exciting and fun. It's not very much like a arcade game where you're pulling a joystick around. There is definitely some simulation to it. Maybe not quite as much as some of the more hardcore space sims, but still fun, action-packed, easy to get into and figure out as you get your ship, upgrade it, fly it around, and figure out the story and deal with all the trading and so on. It does say this swashbuckling space adventure, which does remind me a lot of the whole Cowboy Bebop style of combat. And you can see it does look great. I've always liked these space sims of all kinds, and I did mention Homeworld, which I also really enjoy at its time. And I do have the Homeworld and Homeworld 2 on my library here. Of course, it's not given the greatest rating, but you might want to check out some of it. You see IGN did give it 8 out of 10, and some of the other ones have given it good ratings too. But check it out if you're not sure about it. Check it out on the YouTube Play channels and so on. I really had fun with it. It may not be something that you are interested in, but for the price, why not check it out? You've been in games where you're the hero, and some of you may have already heard of This War of Mine. And it is, as you can see, a side-scrolling adventure. But a lot of times when you play these, you're the hero. You run around and you can kill everything. You can jump over stuff. You can pretty much destroy every enemy. As you gain levels, you become more powerful with more skills and so on. In this game, it's a little bit different. You are just some civilians trying to live in a ramshackle house as a war rages on in the city around you. You need to find a way to survive until the war ends. And that includes going out to scavenge and dealing with people who come to your house looking for medicine or help. You do have a lot of moral dilemmas, and this is one of those kind of drama games where it leaves you feeling empty or emotionally drained. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. A lot of people enjoy watching drama movies or drama TV shows or war movies that are not hero-based like Rambo, but that leave you with a sense of realism. And this definitely does that, and they did it quite well, I think. Does it have more than one playthrough? Well, they do have some expansions that you might want to check out, but I played it through once. I really enjoyed it. It's not the easiest game to win, especially to keep your survivors alive, but if you go through it, you can play with different groups of survivors as you find them. You can start with different ones as well, and their story, how it plays out, is a little bit interesting. The final end of the war, it does give you the story about what happened to them and how they turned out there. Oops. You can see it's 75% off. You can get it for about $5. And you can see a little bit of the pictures here. You do move around through. This is your house where you move around through and you clear things up. You build, beds and chairs so that they can be comfortable. You have to keep it warm. Look for food and deal with any kinds of construction that you would do with your people who are good at construction and some that are good at medicine. Of course, they could get sick, so they need to stay in bed. And you do need to send them out to scavenge as well. As you can see here, it was inspired by real-life events. And it does have this charcoal stylized aesthetic to it, which gives you a sense of kind of a hopelessness in a war-torn area. But I don't know, I definitely like it. They have a season pass available to get all of the other episodes and content that you could get to add in. And I just have the base version, and I enjoyed it quite a lot. So if you're interested in this style of gameplay, and you're interested in the drama story and dealing with the tragedies that involve war, it might be something that you'd want to check out. And those are my recommendations to check out for the game. But there are for games. These are some of the ones that I enjoyed, and they are pretty good deals right now on those. But there are some new ones that have come out that you might want to check out as well, and some of the others that are quite good. Red Dead Redemption 2 is 20% off. Borderlands 3 is 50% off. And you can see all the other ones that are there as well. Just scrolling through a little bit to kind of highlight a couple others that you might want to look into if you're not sure about Epic Games. Killing Floor here. It's an interesting game for $10, about $10. Jedi Fallen Order, if you like Star Wars, this has got some pretty good reviews. about $25 or so there. State of Decay 2 is $23. I did enjoy State of Decay 1. I never played 2. I heard that it's very similar to 1. So, but of course it's upgraded graphics and things. If you like the kind of zombie genre, along with this, managing a small group of survivors in a colony or community, that might be something you'd want to check out. 25% off there. There's all the Assassin's Creed games, so if you haven't gotten to Assassin's Creed, it might be time to check it out if you're interested in those kinds of games. For Honor, it's already it's a starter edition, of course. You can pay just about $6.50 to get into that. And moving down here, the bee simulator. When I was younger, I used to play all the little ant simulators and so on. The bee simulator is something that's come out recently. I haven't checked it out, but it sounds interesting. Might want to look into that if you're interested in that kind of thing. I did play South Park Stick of Truth. That was fun. If you like South Park and you like that story, it's basically the South Park story just pulled out into a game and expanded into